This episode of It's All Greek to Me is brought to you by our premium corporate partner, Levendis Lawyers. This episode of It's All Greek to Me, it's a little bit different. Instead of visiting a Greek household,
Please make welcome on stage the most talented acrobats from Africa, Cirque Africa!
we're taking you to the circus. It's not a Greek circus, but an acrobatic circus that's all the way from Zimbabwe.
My name is Lindani Berman, and I was born in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. However, it's pretty difficult to survive and live. Most people make enough money just to go to work and buy food. So it's a bit of a challenge. I was born in 1975, and that time, the economy, everything was fantastic. So it was a great place. I always thought that one day I would like to travel the world, and many people thought that wasn't possible, but that was my dream. As a kid, when we played on the streets, I used to like tumbling, doing backflips and somersaults and all that stuff. And then I realized that drew attention to a lot of people. We put together a few acts and a few tricks, and we took on the streets and started basking. And that worked very well. People were so fascinated. And we realized that maybe if we took this a bit more serious, we could get somewhere with it. So we started booking primary schools and put on a longer performance that lasted an hour, and it was rewarding for us. So I realized then that this could be my ticket out of Zimbabwe, performing. One day, we saved some money from the school shows, and we hired someone with a VHS video to come and film one of our shows. Once we did that, we then put together enough money to buy a plane ticket just for one of us with a VHS to come overseas. So we didn't know where we were going to go, so we started looking at different countries, and then Australia came into mind. Looking at the pictures, Australia looked so beautiful, and the Australians were always happy and smiling on the photos, so we thought that's where we want to go. So one of my best friends came here with a video, and within 2 days, he rang us back and he had got us a job at a circus. We were so excited. We couldn't believe it, the fact that it happened so quick. And he said to me, "You won't believe what else is more exciting than getting the job." So we were like, what? It couldn't get better. What was it? He then said to me, "You won't believe how much a whole chicken is." He goes, "The chicken is like $4. And for us, that was a greater highlight. We were so excited that we are gonna live on whole chickens every day for $4.
Lindani, tell me, you love your chicken, is that right?
I love chicken.
You love the chicken.
Yes.
He loves his chicken.
Yes.
I can see it's obvious the dude on the bottom eats a lot of it and the guy on the top doesn't get any of it. So Lindani, what are we cooking today?
So today we're cooking a Zimbabwe traditional meal, which is called sadza, or also known in English as pap. This is a maize meal, which we also call mealie meal. The plant is actually similar to corn and looks exactly like corn, except it's white and it's not sweet. The first step will be porridge, which we have for breakfast. And then once we keep cooking it and making thicker, it becomes a main meal like for lunch or dinner, which then you get to eat with chicken. And I'll gently sprinkle it so it doesn't become lumpy as you're stirring it. And it thickens up as well.
So it's almost like a polenta or a semolina, isn't it? It looks-
Absolutely, yes. The whole idea is to break all the lumps. Once the lumps are broken, we just leave it for about 3-4 minutes and it will
and will
thicken
this
up.
thicken up? That,
Yes, it
that
will
is
thicken
enough.
up. Yes. So I do it the long way
Yes.
because it makes me more hungrier. So, and I'm like, I'm gonna eat you. So we'll just let this
Boil a little bit. to
boil a
thicken.
little bit. Yep, it will thicken up for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then that should be ready for porridge. So now we've taken it out while it's a bit runny. That's
Yes.
porridge. So we've got a bit of butter there.
Yes.
So I'll just put 2 cubes of butter. Just mix it in while it's hot. You see the butter melting. As it cools down, it will thicken up. Now what we're gonna need is a bit of salt
Yeah.
and then some sugar. And then the last ingredient to make it a breakfast porridge is a bit of milk. That's about it. That's beautiful. That's just for taste.
I think
Yes.
I need to try this before we get onto the savoury,
Yeah,
baby.
it tastes as good as
Let's
it
just
looks.
need
Yeah.
to try this, baby. Here.
Yes. Maybe a bit more salt.
That's personal taste. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. So I
yes.
suppose you just season it to taste.
Yeah, yeah.
See, to me, that's perfect. But
Yes.
if you say more salt, we'll put a
Just
bit more salt.
A little
but
bit more salt and more sugar. It just gives it even more
Flavour.
taste. Yeah. We were excited. We did not sleep in the plane. We just were up all night and partying. And we got to Sydney Airport, and the circus people were waiting for us at the Melbourne Airport, while the airport staff, customs, were serving other people. And we were telling stories for over 2 hours. We were laughing with them. And then one of them asked us where we were actually going. We were like, oh, we're going to Melbourne. They had a look at our ticket and they said, your flight's left. And it was the last flight to Melbourne. We didn't know what to do. We were like, oh, we have no money. We don't know. There's people waiting for us. And they told us to relax. It was all okay. So luckily, airport staff put us at the airport hotel. Then we had pay TV on all the rooms. We didn't know that. We just thought it was all free. Cleaned up the bar. And the next morning when we were checking out, they told us we owed about nearly $400, which we didn't know how we did that. So we nearly missed the next flight because we couldn't pay. We had our employer's phone number, which was the circus at the time. They spoke to the owner of the circus and she paid over the phone.
Lindani, so tell me,
Yes.
breakfast is done. We want to make this savoury. Tell me what we've got to do.
Now, it's going to be a main meal, so we're going to really get it thick. So if you please help me and put a full cup of that straight in.
Perfect.
Yep, you don't have to sprinkle it now. So it's going to sort of look like a mashed potato, but more thicker than a mashed potato. And then after it's mixed, George, we'll leave this for about 4 or 5 minutes and that's done.
What are we,
The
now, what
other
are we
part.
doing now?
Now, George, this is the best part because we're going to cook chicken.
Chicken.
Yes, chicken. This is my
He's
favorite
excited.
bit.
The boys are excited for chicken as well.
So George, if we can turn the saucepan
Yeah.
on high, I'll start off with a bit of cooking oil so we can just chuck all the onions in.
Chopped onions.
And then while this is simmering, we then can cut some green veggies, which is the
some
spinach.
spinach.
In Zimbabwe, we find that the thinner you cut it, it tastes better. Okay, George, I think now the onions are ready for chicken. That's the next step. We'll put some
Chicken.
chicken. Yes, please. Let's chuck it all in. And George, in Zimbabwe, we love our salt. So put some salt while the chicken is still fresh. And what we tend not to do in Zimbabwe is put spices because we like the natural flavor. Okay, so next is the spinach. It's gonna get the moisture and then shrink. And some chilies, George. A bit of color and flavor.
You like chili?
I love chilies.
All right, we're
I
going in.
love chilies, yes. Now we can put some tomatoes, which will give it a lot of juice and flavor. So the more we put, the more saucy.
So now, Lindani, that's pretty much ready, is it?
Yes,
Now?
it is. Yes, it is, George. So we're gonna now serve the sadza into one bowl and this on the side.
Okay, Lindani, it's ready.
Yes.
Smells awesome. I guess that means it's time for us to try, yeah?
Let's go for it, George.
Excellent, man.
What are you
Excellent.
doing? Hold on a second. No. What is that for?
I've got to try it, man.
No. That's not the way you eat it. You're going to ruin it. Just put the spoon down. In Zimbabwe, we use our hands traditionally. Yes, to enjoy this meal, you have to use your hands. George?
I'm going to do as I'm told.
Yes.
I'm going to do as I'm told.
I'm going to
Alright,
show you.
done.
Okay, so you grab a little bit. Yes, you grab a little bit there. Just mix it around. Then you grab some chicken and some veggies with the sauce, and then you eat it together.
All right, so I'll grab this.
Yes.
I mold it. And I'll grab a little bit of this over here. And then it's all in. I'm good at this part.
Let's do it. What do you think?
That is fantastic.
And we eat together.
Guys, this is really, really good. You must try to do this at home. And Lindani, thanks a lot, man.
No, you're welcome, George. It's a simple recipe, and this will fill you up for the whole day. So I now live in Melbourne, in a small suburb called Dingley Village. Where I live reminds me of kind of the suburbs where I grew up in Zimbabwe, because people kind of like know each other. And so I live there with my family, my wife and 2 kids. My oldest son is moved to Queensland. He lives with his girlfriend. And I started this company in 2015, and our first venue was in Melbourne. Me and my best friend thought it would be great to give the artists the opportunity that we always wanted to have, and so, promote African artists and bring them overseas. So over time, I brought to Australia 42 performers, and a lot of the artists came from performing in the streets. And my business partner, he has a school in Africa where they all go there, have free food, train and build up the skills. And once they get good enough, we then give them opportunities like I had. I bring them to Australia, and then their friends over there back in Africa see what happens. And now it's pretty much every kid, that's all they want to do is just go to the school and become acrobats. It comes back to believing in yourself and wanting something. The opportunity is always there. It's only a matter of how hard or how much do you want it. So all they got to do is just believe in what they want to do, make sure they really want to do it, and they'll end up here with us.
Okay, here we are.
South African.
Now, Lindani and his mates are fanatics about chicken, as we just saw.
Oh, okay.
However, what else they absolutely love?
What do they love?
Custard.
Hot custard?
No.
Cold custard.
It's baked. What is it?
Baked
Nico?
custard.
A beautiful classic southern African dessert.
Milk tart. Apparently it's pronounced milk tart. Milk tart.
What?
Milk tart. It's
Milk
basically what we know here as a baked custard tart. Okay.
Now,
so
tell me.
We're doing a standard
Can I just say, is
sugar
that,
pastry.
that's flour and icing sugar, is that correct?
flour, ice and sugar, pinch of salt. Okay, we're sifting it.
Now what?
Right, now we're going to rub our butter in.
How
In here, not like we usually do.
Okay.
Okay. Butter, cube, okay. Excuse your hands, but we're at home. What we're going to do is we're just rubbing the butter in. Just
Work
like
that in together so it combines
work it in.
beautifully. And then we have
Fluted pan. A fluted pan.
buttered.
And show us the trick underneath. Yep.
So when the tart is ready, you lift it out and we're laughing.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's almost like a
A
crumb.
bit quick, but yes, of course. It's got to be like sand. You've got to feel like sand, get rid of those lumps. And this is, believe it or not, all you need. The only liquid you need to bring it together. 1 egg yolk. We're just going to mix it in.
1 egg.
1 egg yolk. I think it's getting a bit, it's a bit sticky. So
That's
I
okay.
reckon,
I think we can work with
if
it.
you can get that spatula.
You want me to fold it over?
Yep.
I want to ask you, Nico, In here we had
Yes.
that mixture that you added to the butter.
Yes.
You had the flour and
Flour,
icing sugar.
about 100, it's 190 grams of flour.
Yep.
And the icing sugar, about 130 grams.
Okay.
128
So
grams
about
of icing
6%,
sugar.
a bit
Pinch of
less.
salt, and you're done. You're finished.
It's coming
That's
good.
it, it's done. Form it into a disc so it's easy to roll later. Wrap it up, Yorova.
Friggi.
You know the drill. Wrap it up, whatever. So this, in the fridge, butter needs to get hard in order for you to work with it.
Done.
Go for it.
Done.
Been in there for half an hour or thereabouts.
Ready to go.
Maybe a bit less if you're impatient. Okay, we'll take it out. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now,
Perfect.
okay.
Rolling pin point better.
rolling pin over here, and let's do it.
Now I think it's important to say not to overwork it, because the more you handle it and work the pastry, it's going to go soft because of the temperature of your hands.
Yep.
So if you don't do that, it's going to end up being a lot easier for you to be able to work with.
Exactly.
I think that'll do, mate. We can put together. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
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 Now we're
There we
talking
go,
turkey.
there we are.
That is a good pastry.
There we go.
Bravo. Bravo.
And then it peels nicely.
Now, if it cracks and that,
No.
there's no problem, because you just put it back together
Like sewing. Just
like sewing.
It's like sewing. Just here we go. Look, there you go. Put that in there. Make sure you fill in
don't
right
know
to the
about you.
bottom. Right to the bottom. Right
I don't know
down here.
about you guys, but I love.
Right in the corner. Lift it up.
Done.
You dock your pastry. So
Prevents it.
prevents it from rising, as we all know. This will go in the fridge or the freezer now before we put the custard in.
I'm going in the freezer because I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, okay. What we've got in here is milk and a cinnamon stick, and heating up the milk so it can receive the thickening agents so it can thicken. We had that happening whilst we're doing the pastry. So we
Let's
don't.
get some flour because that milk is heating
Let's
up.
go. Yeah,
pretty
that's
quick.
it. You gotta go.
While
So
you're
what we've
whisking-
got in there: pinch of salt, plain flour, corn flour, and caster sugar. And now we're just waiting for it to thicken. And after we've done that, we're going to wait for it so it cools down a little bit. Then add the butter, so the butter doesn't split. If it's too hot, the butter could split. Dangerous. And after that, just a little bit, couple more minutes, we add the eggs so they don't curdle on us. Here it is.
All right, done.
Here it is.
Take it off the heat now.
And we're closing
Wait,
it. Yeah.
beautiful. Slowly.
Slowly. That way we'll make sure we get rid of all the lumps, if there are any. Okay,
Well,
that'll do it. Let's bring it over here. We'll just sieve the rest. All right. The difference between this custard and other custards, we're using the whole egg, not just the egg yolk, the whole egg. So it's a runny custard. It's runnier and it's more silky.
100% more
difference.
silky.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Alto
Okay,
mesa.
okay. Bit of butter. There's about 40 grams there. Unsalted butter.
Unsalted butter.
And
We've already put a pinch of salt.
It gives it a silky lusciousness.
Now that the butter has gone and you've cooled it down, we're
Yep.
also going to slowly add, while you're whisking, the trick is to add your eggs on top of that so that you whisk it together so you don't scramble them.
Correct. And let's go with the last one.
Perfect.
What about some vanilla?
I thought you'd never ask. Vanilla sugar. But
That's fine. Vanilla sugar, any vanilla you want, but we've got vanilla sugar today.
You know what? The thing is about the vanilla sugar is also a little trick is not to put too much because then it brings bitterness out.
Correct. We're ready for the custard.
So, I'm going to
with
get the
pastry.
can out of the freezer. Hello, Val, tocate aquí.
Just straight in.
Look at that.
So in your home oven, preset to 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Reduce it down to 150 for 20 minutes, approximately. I love nutmeg.
Just sprinkle
Yeah,
it a
just
touch.
sprinkle it.
We don't want to overdo it.
No, no. Very little. In the
Alto
oven.
mesa, let's go.
Right now.
Let's go over here.
There she is.
We've taken it out of the oven. It smells amazing. Now we let it cool down so we can cut it.
Let's just get it out from
That's
here.
cool. So
Okay,
this is the beauty of these pans. Look at that. Look at that.
Like that.
That's
Okay,
it.
There you go. Baked custard tart.
I want to try this.
Try it. It should be silky in it. All right. What's it like?
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Custard tart, do it.
This time, you're not gonna have it.
Do it.
This is how we eat normally. Someone cooks, they know everyone's coming.
Success stories like Lindani's and Cirque Africa are good for the soul. It proves to me that we're all in this together. And if we help each other out, then we can possibly change the course of people's lives. And of course, there's the food that brings us closer. There's always food.